Alrighty, well, there's a multitude of videos on YouTube talking about how you can get a girlfriend, what men girls pick, and how it all works. And I don't think there's damn near one of them that's got a reasonable analogy. Most of these videos spend most of their time trying to explain the difference between a beta and an alpha. A beta male and an alpha male. And how if you're going on like she's the only possible girl you can have and you've got no other options and everything, it doesn't work out too well for you versus the guys who really, don't have as much respect because they don't necessarily need a girl or that particular girl. They've got plenty of options. They're not struggling to find a girl and not reduced to almost begging their way there. And guys cannot seem to understand why you can treat a girl really nice. I'm talking like nerdy guys, average guys, guys who spend a lot of time gaming, guys who still live at home with their mum. They can't really understand, how they can throw presents at a girl, be nice to her, never have an argument, do everything perfect, and she still just doesn't give a shit. And they're like, I'm putting in so much effort. I think it's probably a good point at this time to make the point that a lot of guys ask their mother, and in the manipulation that most women are, they don't tell you what you got to do to get a girlfriend. They tell you what they want you to do, and they've decided that if you disagree with them less and you're nicer and go along with what they want, that's going to help your mother. There's an old saying, don't ever ask a fish how to catch a fish, because you're not going to get an honest answer, are you? But women are so used to sort of not being perfectly honest about it. Not so much your sister, but definitely people like your mother and possibly your sister, that they sort of work their own agenda into it. And so you don't really get the right answer. And a lot of guys have got the very wrong answer from that. So there's a point that I think needs to be raised in all of this. Ultimately, why I've got three watches sitting here in front of me will describe how girls look for men, the sort of men that get girls, and why. It is very much a supply and demand thing, but we've got three different levels of watches here. And I'm going to go through that. This one is indeed a fake Rolex, but it is heavy, heavy metal. Thick, solid bugger, with all the bits and pieces. You can't see it with this sort of camera, but let me tell you, it is a very, very good fake of a Rolex, and there's quite a bit of bulk and weight to it, which is typical of a Rolex, as is the bubble actually does magnify properly, the date bubble. And, there's other multiple very small things, including a Rolex symbol, embedded in the middle of the glass, which you can almost never see with a camera. It's hard enough to see with the naked eye. And you've got another little aluminium ring, which has got Rolex written about 10 times inside underneath the glass, which is another one of their classical things. And it's all given away by the shit fucking bracelet I've got on it. But anyway, let's just pretend that's a real Rolex. This is a Rosra, some brand you never heard of. It's made in China. It's about $7 it cost me. It looks nice, but it's fake gold. These chronograph buttons are just solid. It's part of the die-cast case. Die-cast bracelet, not adjustable. Most bracelets should be adjustable. This one is a replacement bracelet because the one that came with it was too small, but it's got the ability to be adjusted, and I have adjusted it to suit my wrist. This one is not adjustable. It's cheap. It's Chinese. You can't buy them anywhere. There's no quality at all in the damn thing. It's half of the things are fake, 3 dials in the back. That's just part of the face. They're not even proper hands in the back, although they've got 3 hands. It's cheap. $7 US. This one here is probably about 28 US dollars. This is a Casio. Reliable, dependable, good quality. It's actually the calculator one. And this is what I wear to work. She's good. She's not super expensive. I think it's about 26 to 28 US dollars. It cost me 35 Aussie dollars. And you can stick by it, but it's just a Japanese Casio. It's not like a Rolex or anything. This, while it's a fake, we'll treat it like as though it's a real Rolex. Heavy build, super duper duper high quality standards, screw down crown, and this one does actually have a real screw down crown that allows you to do diving, completely waterproof. Winder there that you got to sort of unscrew to even get it to start moving, and there's a rubber seal inside it and everything. You know, price of this, insane. You know, you're talking the price of a new car. Absolutely unparalleled type stuff. I'm not saying it's completely unparalleled, but it's amongst, you know, the top of the top. So let's just pretend that's a real Rolex. You know, what's the hard one to come by? Is it this sort of shit that sells everywhere on eBay? You go to the Sunday markets, Saturday markets, whatever, and they're there flinging these things out left and right. You could probably even get a further discount if you bought 3 at once. You know, they're shit. They're a fly-by-night company. Nobody's ever heard of. Half of the stuff's fake. It's fake gold. It's probably all going to turn to shit if I wear it for a long period of time. And it's not worth anything. There's low demand. Easy to come by. Not very good quality, low demand. It is what it is. Reliable, dependable quality. But still, having said that, it's not very expensive and they're easy to come by. There's not that many calculator ones out there, but let's say we get another one, which is, this is my previous work watch. Now this is a little bit still hard to come by because this is a solar powered one, but just say this is not solid, just say this is your average Casio. They're well built. They're well built. You know, this is like its second or third strap or something. You know, and they're well built. But it's not like they're hard to get. They're easily affordable. There's tons of them around. Absolutely tons of them around. Rolex. You want one new, you're on a waiting list that's like 2 years long or 5 years long. You know, you're waiting for years. It's super high quality. People are... It's not... You ain't getting these at a discount ever. Ever. Trust me, I'll look, and you get ones that are old as the hills, plain Jane, and they're still an absolute bloody fortune. You know, they're not cheap. Ones that are friggin' almost 40 years old, you know, might be 38 years old. The bottom of the barrel, the date just. Still 5,000 US dollars, you know. These are second hand and damn near as old as me, and they're still $5,000. They're not the good one like this, they're just the bottom of the barrel basic roll at $5,000 US. So you can mark that up about, I think it's about 7.5 thousand Australian dollars. My point is here that these things have a very high demand. Everyone wants one. Well, you know, most people. We'll refer to watch collectors and some of the things with the watch community. There's this term that makes me laugh my bloody guts out, you know, and that is the ultimate two-watch collection. So there's guys that buy higher-end stuff like this, and then they'll see something else that's really good. And what they'll do is they'll put their other watch up, that's a fairly high-end one, on eBay and sell that to be able to buy another one. Or buy it and blow out their credit card and then sell the other one they've got. And they've got basically two watches, but these are really, they're worth thousands each, these watches. They really are high-end, but it's a two-watch collection. And I don't think of anything that you've got that's only got two in it that you call a collection, but this is the way they go. They keep slowly working their way up by buying and selling, and a lot of them buy very good quality second-hand to resell whatever they've already got to get their ultimate two-watch collection. And that's a common phrase, two-watch collection. But anyway, it's much the same when women come to getting stuff. Why do they want something they can get anywhere? Something that's really low quality, that's not going to really do much for them. Something that's not waterproof, kind of crap, because this isn't waterproof. Why would they want that? They want something that's more reliable. But would they? Because it's not hard to get these either. So do they really want that either? Or do they want the top of the line? You know what? They want the top of the line. Just as most watch collectors do. You don't see watch collectors pissing their pants over fucking cheap stuff. Not real watch collectors anyway. The same goes with this. This guy here works at McDonald's 20, 25 hours a week, possibly full time. He lives in his mum's basement and he spends most of his time gaming. He really has no sense of style or fashion. Nobody said you had to be good looking, but this guy doesn't even try to even dress reasonably. He's going out there in tracksuit pants, sweatpants as you call them in America. He hasn't had a haircut for 6 months. The guy, just zero shits given. Never wears deodorant. Lucky to get him to brush his teeth half the damn time. That's this guy. There's plenty of them. They're everywhere. They don't give a woman value. He doesn't have a wage where he can even rent a bloody house, let alone raise children. He's still in his mum's basement. This guy here, however, is not an idiot. He's got a reasonable job. He may or may not be qualified, but if he's got a qualification, it's usually a fairly low qualification. But he puts in a reasonable effort. He moved out of home 10 years ago. He's not renting someone's basement. He's got an actual apartment completely of his own. That's a fairly reasonable thing. He's probably got a few dollars in the bank. He might have a little bit invested in crypto or in actual shares or whatever. But maybe not. Maybe he's just got a few $1,000s saved up. And he's not doing too bad. He can usually work his way out of anything by money he's got saved up in his credit card. And he can make it all come together. He's sort of never really, there's no real implosion of anything. He's not really, living on his hands and knees, because if something happens, he can always work out how to fix it up. And that's this guy. This guy here means what he says what he means, isn't afraid to tell the truth, doesn't fuck around, takes no shit, takes no prisoners, does what he says he'll do, and makes it happen by hook or by crook. He isn't an idiot. He does have a qualification. He does have money. He does have shit sorted. Hell, he's almost paid off his existing house, but at the same time he's paying off an investment property as well. He's got shit sorted. This guy's making over $1,000 a week. And I mean, literally, he's got enough money to save $1,000 a week, which goes into his investment property. What one do you think the girl's going to want? Zero effort, couldn't even get a fucking haircut. Doing all right, but never really made super duper effort, but can make things work. Ambitious as hell, has shit sorted, doesn't fuck around, takes no prisoners, means what he says what he means, isn't afraid to tell the truth, even if the truth is hard. And at the end of the day, he knows where he's going, knows what he's doing, and he does have a lot of shit going for him. He could easily afford kids. And, you know, if you're with him, you're probably never going to be in a car that's any more than 5 years old for the rest of your life. You see how it works now? If you put in a bit of effort, you might get somewhere. This guy's got no confidence. This guy's calls himself a realist, and he's got a little bit, but he's got occasional worry that he knows he can sort out, but he still does worry a little bit about it. This guy is as confident as hell. He's like a bull at a gate. He knows exactly where he's going every day of his life. You understand now? Easy to come by, dirt cheap, more reliable, little bit more priced, but still all over the place. Bloody hard to get, in high demand. You get the point now? That's really it in a nutshell. There's a lot of women who have the ability to, particularly single mums, are extremely good at sort of painting themselves to be something else that they're not, to sort of increase their value, to make themselves look maybe not like a Casio, but more like a Omega, not necessarily a Rolex, but, you know, they got ways and means that they do things. And so I'm going to give you a good example of the way girls spin it. And a lot of girls have got no real... They don't think they have to live up to any great standards for you, but you're going to live up to great standards for them. So somebody had a great one of the way a girl would spin it. Now, if a guy spins this, the girl will see straight through it, but girls are great at spinning this. They're great marketers of themselves, which is code word for they're great bullshitters, as most marketers, all marketers really are. Yeah, well, that's going to be a son of a bitch, so hang on a minute. This is off a video of a single mum who literally said, well, I'm not like all other girls. As they all do, as they try and prop themselves higher up by telling you that they're higher up. But what do they say again about the fish? When a fish tells you about how to catch a fish, don't believe it. When a fish tells you about themselves and their status, don't believe the fish either. The equivalent of this would be a guy working at Burger King trying to rationalise why women should take him seriously and value his sense of humour and personality instead of his ability to provide. Because quite frankly, his sense of humour and personality is about all he's got. Except guys can actually accept that they're lower on the totem pole in that situation, while a lot of women and a lot of single mums can't, particularly single mums, who are trying to put themselves in a position of being like they got no baggage when they actually do. They will even try shit like, say, you've insulted, you know, my daughter, and therefore you're rude and you should apologise to me for insulting my daughter for saying that my daughter's baggage. And it's like, yes, but no guy wants to raise your kid off their money. So guys give an example. But I'm not like other guys. I'm humorous. I don't flirt with other women. I cook. I clean. I live with my mother because I care about her, not because I'm a bloody loser. I'm an Aries sign. I'm in touch with my emotions. Girls find me attractive. I'm not in the category of those unattractive men you put me in. Yeah. It's much the same as going to buy a GM and you're going to ask the guy in the dealership, so are GM's good vehicles? Of course he's going to say they're good. Doesn't mean that they're friggin' actually good. I mean, they're shit, let's be honest. Everyone knows they're shit. Even my mechanic knows they're shit. Hasn't he told me enough about GMs? Jeez. So this is the whole point, you know. Girls are very good at trying to spin this around, but they don't tolerate men doing it one little bit. But don't worry about that, because you're not a girl trying to find a guy. You're a guy trying to find a girl. Don't worry about the shit. Arguing about hypocrisy ain't going to win you a girl, is it? A lot of guys find there's no point in winning a girl. You know, a lot of guys know how the shit plays out, when it all falls apart, and we're not going to give away every man's secret here, but you know, that is what it is. You know, this is why some guys have all their assets inside a company, because nobody owns a company. A person controls a company, but a company is like its own separate identity. Do a bit of research on companies if you don't want to be completely cleaned out. Anyway, that's my little rant on that, and I think that's a brilliant analogy to explain it to you guys who might be getting serious about getting a girl. There are girls who, you know, so many of them want kids, and the kids, trust me, will have a higher value than you do, but they're very good at hiding what they want, so you can't sort of they can't be manipulated, or you can't tell them what they want to hear. But so many girls are out there looking to be mothers, because it's such a major, major part of a girl's life. You know, like a lot of them, that's their ultimate goal. Some of them it won't be. Plenty of them, that is their ultimate goal. They'll never admit to it, because then you've got something that you can use to pull their strings, and they don't want that. So I'm just saying, there's certain things out there where they're very good at hiding what they want. They're very good at all this stuff in general, because women are more social and are more good at dealing with social situations and stuff like that than men are. So yeah.